He was pardoned by President Trump after spending a year in prison for taking photos inside his classified submarine. And now former Navy sailor Kristian Saucier is suing Barack Obama, James Comey, amongst some others, claiming that he was unfairly prosecuted while Hillary Clinton walked free. And the former Navy sailor Kristian Saucier joins me now live to tell us a little bit more about the situation. Thank you for joining us this morning so early, first of all.
Oh, thank you for having me on.
So explain to people at home, if they're not aware, of exactly what went down, what you were accused of doing and what you were eventually charged with doing.
Okay, well, I was accused of mishandling classified information. I took pictures to have a service mementos, which a lot of people in the military do, of what I did in the Navy, because I'm proud of it. And the phone was discovered with the pictures on it in 2012. So I took the pictures in 2009. It was discovered in 2012. And then it started an investigation and ended up being charged with unlawful retention of national defense information, which is a charge under the Espionage Act, which basically means I mishandled classified information. There was no intent requirement as far as prosecuting me went to cause national harm, as James Comey argued for Hillary Clinton. So, you know, I accepted responsibility. I pled guilty. I didn't go to trial. You know, I felt that the charge should have been handled within the military. See, I was charged in the civilian court, even though I was still active duty military.
And there's some misinformation
so,
out there about that, right? Because some people think that you were.
No, I was not subject under the more stringent UCMJ. I was punished in civilian court. And so, you know, it's upsetting that, you know, a lot of people think, well, you know, Kristian Saucier was held to a different standard than Hillary Clinton because he was in the military, but that's not the choice that they made. And so, very much so, was she eligible to be prosecuted under the same law based off of how the law was explained to me at the time. And once again, I accepted responsibility. I made a mistake. I served my year in prison, and President Trump pardoned me because he felt what happened to me was overly harsh, and I totally agree. But then again, I was willing to accept responsibility. All I ask is that the people that held me accountable hold themselves accountable. And, so you know, they're having some issues doing that.
Well, I wanted to ask you that. You pled guilty. You accepted responsibility. You don't say that you did not do anything wrong. You admit that you did. You served 12 months in federal prison, but then the president pardoned you. So why not just leave it at that?
Well, I could have done that, you know. I could have moved on with my life. I have a great job, a great family, and I could have went on living the American dream thanks to President Trump. But I think that all Americans need to be concerned about what happened here because it's a bigger issue than just me. You know, the fact that these people are above the law, or at least allowed to exercise the laws in a manner which keeps them above them, is very upsetting. And you know, people need to take a stand. And I feel like I feel obligated as a patriot and as an American to take a stand here, not for myself, but for the American people. You know, I would drop this lawsuit tomorrow if they would hold those people in government to the same standard that they hold average Americans like myself. If they're willing to do that, I'd settle this lawsuit for $1 and an indictment. But I don't think they're willing to do that.
Yeah,
so,
well, I wanted, you're representing yourself. So what happens next?
Well, what happens next is we're going to go into discovery. I'm going to put some Freedom of Information Act requests in. I want to see what exactly was their thought process in taking my case out of the military courts where it should have been handled and thrusting it into the civilian courts so they can make a national spectacle of me. I want to see why James Comey and Peter Strzok. So Peter Strzok was pivotally involved in my investigation as well because he was head of the counter-espionage unit, which is the unit that prosecuted me, right from Washington, D.C. So I want to see what he was doing and what he had to say about my case. Obviously, he had a lot to say about Hillary Clinton and the Russia investigation. So I want to see the text involving me. I want to see the emails between him, James Comey, and Loretta Lynch.
Want to see some people go to jail?
I'm sorry?
Do you want to see some people? Do you want to see some people go to jail?
Well, no, I want them to be held to the same standard as me. Look, if they don't get sentenced, if they don't go to jail, that's fine, but at least let them be prosecuted. Make them go through the same legal process that I did. Otherwise, how can we say we have a true justice system in this country? The laws should be applied evenly to everybody and not just the little guy.
All right, good point. Thank you so much for joining us, Kristian. We really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Have a great day.
Well, you're going to pull those pistols or whistle Dixie.